We're here at Gold's Gym in Venice, and we're here with the legendary Charles Glass. I've been friends with Charles probably for 20 years. He's seen me
20 plus.
20 plus, yeah. He's seen me every shape and size that you can possibly imagine. Seen me probably almost around this weight when we first met.
When I first met you, you were a little smaller than this.
Yeah, about 210, 220.
Yes.
I'm about 235, 240 now. And I went all the way up, 300 pounds plus, and the whole thing with all the powerlifting stuff. Charles has been, everybody knows his resume. He's a championship bodybuilding trainer. He's worked with some of the best. He put some of the best guys in the history of bodybuilding on stage, and they've been really successful. How did all this come to be?
When I finished my gymnastics career, I just wanted something with longevity. And I kept passing, at the university, I kept passing by the weight room. I'm damn. So I pop in every now and then, I shoot the crap with the guys. And I made a promise to one of them, to Dr. Casey Donovan. And he's a professor over at USC right now, and he runs the whole department over there. And I made a promise to him that as soon as I finish my career, I'm gonna be in this gym with you guys. Of course, they laughed at me. They didn't believe it. Here I am, 149 pounds,
Right.
So as soon as I finished that career, I was in the gym.
And you're pretty strong, right? Because you had the gymnastics background?
I was strong only because I used to play around with the weights all the time, and it just made me stronger for gymnastics. So when I went into the gym, they couldn't believe it. I actually started off with Olympic lifting.
Oh, okay.
I did that. I weighed about 150, and my very first time ever playing around with the weights, they showed me how to do a snatch, and they said, "Can you do this?" I said, "Yeah." So I get 135. It was easy. Can you go up? I said, "Yeah." They gave me 185. It went up because I was quick, and the timing for it was perfect for me because I just squat up underneath. I ended up with 225. It was my very first time ever doing it.
Yeah.
They said,
and that body weight's amazing, yeah.
He said, "How about the clean and jerk?" Now we talking trouble because I was afraid of it.
Yeah.
I can get it to here, but I couldn't jerk it in the head because I was afraid to split my leg. I said, "Man, I didn't tore everything loose." But they said, "No, you good, you good." Nah. They said, "Well, look, let's try some powerlifting." So we went to powerlifting, and we got on the bench, and that's where I would really excel. I was a good bencher, good squatter, but I could not deadlift anything because I was so afraid mentally.
Yeah.
So I started entering powerlifting meets, but only the bench press portion of it. And my very first show I entered was called the Iron Man, and it was up in Berkeley, Y.
What year was that?
Woo! Let's not go back that far. It was so long ago. But I entered that. I benched 425.
Oh my
I
God.
squatted 425.
He sounds a little bit like myself almost.
But that was it. But I was so strong in the bench.
Yeah.
I could press with chest just as much as I could squat because I was always afraid of squatting a little bit. But I had fun and it was so exciting. I said, "You know what? I love this."
Yeah, you really liked the iron game right away.
Mm-hmm.
Did you have a mentor?
Casey Donovan, Bill Reynolds, who was like editor-in-chief of Flex magazine at one time, and they sort of groomed me to become what I am today.
They teach you bodybuilding, powerlifting, teach you a little bit of everything?
They taught me a little bit of everything.
It's important to have everything in your arsenal, and that's what you do with a lot of your guys, right?
Yes. What I do is I go in and I assess a guy, I look at a guy, and I figure out what their weaknesses are. Not their strength, because everyone has strength. What are your weaknesses?
Right.
So if we can improve those weaknesses, they can become better body.
Some things are really tough though. Like some people have stubborn, you'll hear people say that somebody has stubborn calves or things like this. How do you rectify some of these situations?
When you have stubborn calves, it's because you're not doing it right. Now, if you look at dancers, they have big calves. Why? Because they always pop, spring. Long distance runner, up on it. Boom, boom.
Yeah.
Why? It's that quick movement. That builds calves. But as bodybuilders, we don't have the time and we don't think of the process.
Right.
So we don't do it.
Who are some of the most genetically talented people that you've worked with? People where it almost doesn't even make any sense to you on how quick they're able to gain muscle and size.
Well, there was a couple of guys. Flex Wheeler had probably tenacious upper body.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just put together right. Then came along Paul Gillette.
Oh my God.
And Paul
Gillette
Gillette was
huge.
not missing a body part.
Yeah.
Now, he didn't have a great back. It's because he couldn't feel his back. And the harder you try to make him feel it, he never felt that back. You see? But he was still, I mean, body was put together perfect.
Yeah.
You know? But he just couldn't pose. He could, a lot of little things he didn't take care of. But
Right.
bottom line, the body was together. Chris Cormier, look at him. Everything was there. He just had other things he did that kept him from it.
How are some of these guys able to have such longevity? You got like Dexter Jackson, and you got obviously Robbie Robinson leading the way, and yourself. You're still in really good shape.
Not compared to those.
No,
guys.
no.
I don't want to compete.
Yeah, they're on
but
stage.
If you look at Dexter has longevity because of what? Being smart. Being smart. Not putting all that pressure on. As you get older, you don't put the pressure on your joints. You want to just keep it on the muscle. So what do? You go a little lighter, you move a little slower, so all that pressure goes what? On the muscle, but not on the joint.
Why do bodybuilders tend to kind of move around in this smaller range of motion? And somebody might look at it and be like, "Oh my God, what are they doing? Why aren't they doing full reps?"
That I can't answer on my side. I don't have my clients do that. I like my clients to push all the way through. Why?
And lock everything out and everything
I
too?
never lock,
Okay.
but I get the contraction because the minute you lock, where is it sitting at? On the joints.
Right.
So I don't let them lock it out, but I tell them move it slower, squeeze almost to the contraction where you're almost at the lockout point, but then bring it back down slower and come up slower. Why? You get all those little intricate muscles firing, and it has to work.
Keeping the tension on the muscle and kind of avoiding extra joint pain.
Yes.
And even in a squat or something, the knees would be just a little soft, not
What I have them do, when they go down, they stop at the bottom. Now they press it up. Because now we cut the momentum out, right? So what happens? All that pressure goes on the muscle.
There's a little bit of maybe too much of a cost sometimes with a bench, squat, and deadlift. Is that right? And you try to utilize some different movements?
I use whatever we can use. I think of other
Bruce Lee
ways.
style, huh?
Yes. Whatever it takes for that client to feel that muscle working, that's what we go for.
That can be really tricky. Sometimes somebody can't feel something and say like the shoulders. No matter what you're trying to throw at them.
This is the thing. If you don't feel your shoulders, but if I'm constantly touching you like this, where are you going to feel it? You're going to start to feel that shoulder working. Why? Because I'm putting added pressure to that point. Now it triggers something. Now you can feel it.
Hey, careful what muscle you're poking at. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, well, see, that's the difference between a gland and a muscle too. Right? We don't poke glands.
Yeah, we got to be a little bit more cautious. What do you think's something that people are missing when it comes to trying to build muscle? Because we're in a society right now where we do have an obese population, and people are trying to lose weight all the time. Are people's efforts to lose weight maybe hindering their muscle? Maybe hindering the gains they can get?
It just depends on what they want. If you have a lifestyle, most people want to bring their weight down first to go back up.
Right.
I like to, as I'm going down, I want to get stronger and get tighter. So I go a little slower, but I try to make my body feel what I'm doing as I go down. And I get to a point, then I stop. Then I go a little further and I'll stop it there. Because I don't want to be soft, have all this loose skin hanging all over the place.
Yeah.
So you take it down nice and slow. Most people carry way too much weight. And you don't want to carry all that weight. Why? For what? What's it going to do for you? So, you do cardio. I make them focus on what they're doing. They don't have to run. They have a brisk walk. On the incline, you're going to feel just the same.
I've seen you in here for many years, and I see you in here super early in the morning. I think you get in here like 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, almost every single day.
Best time.
And you've been training people for how long?
Wow. I started training people back in '83.
Holy shit. That's a lot. That's a lot.
Decade.
That's a lot. Yeah, that's a lot of training hours right there.
But you know what? It's not really work for me. It's an enjoyment. Every client
So that's
that
why
I
every
have,
time I see you smiling.
because I enjoy it.
Yeah, you love it.
I don't have clients that come in and just drain me. They come in, they always give me energy to train. They're eager, I'm eager with them. If they come in, they start draining me. I'm like, oh, well, I got to get rid of this one now because it's not going to work.
Yeah.
But as long as they come in with that enthusiastic energy going, I'm ready.
That's important for people to know. Sometimes people just don't mesh well.
No.
And maybe that person needs to find a different trainer and maybe they'll have better results.
I always tell my clients, anytime you want to try somebody else, please by all means do that. Right. Now, I can't hold this spot for you, so when you come back, you got to take whatever's left.
Right.
So, and most of them say, I'll stay, you know.
Right.
Because I try to give out that positive energy. I don't care how bad my day is, but when I step in that door, it's all about the client.
What do you think the biggest difference is between the guys that you have trained that have gotten to a championship level and maybe some guys that have fallen short?
Dedication. Yeah. You have to be dedicated to this. This is a very selfish sport. It's all about who? Me. See? So if you don't have that mentality, you're not going to make it. If you want to go out there and say, oh, I'm going to share this with this person, that person, you're going to fall short.
You need to have a little bit of an ego, maybe.
Not ego, just that dedication.
Right.
Ego is that you go in there and it's, you know, you're too good for anybody and everybody. But that dedication means you go in there and you work hard because you're dedicated to, it's like a job. You become dedicated to a job, so you stay there. That's why people stay at jobs 35, 40 years.
Right.
They're dedicated to their job. This is the same thing. I'm dedicated to this. I love it. I love when people come in. It's not, what would I do without it? You know?
Yeah, what do we do without it?
Yeah.
That's a great question.
We come in this gym and we have that challenge within us. I'm going to do this today. I don't care how heavy it is, I'm going to make it work for me. So we do.
You see so many people come and go. Do you kind of sometimes sit back and just kind of give them a little bit of a like type thing, like you kind of seen it all almost in here?
I don't pay. You know what? If you're my client, I don't care who comes in here. How you doing? Now it's about you.
Right.
I can't focus on them because you're my client. My focus goes toward you. All my energy goes toward you. I'm not going to sit there. I'm friendly, but there'll come a point in time where I have to pay attention to the person I'm with. I've never had anyone, not one single client, hurt themselves. Why? Because I'm on top of it.
That's amazing.
I'm on top of it. I'm at. Don't move. Sit. Don't move till I come back. I grab some water. I'm coming right back. That means sit. That don't mean as soon as I walk over that way you jump up and start doing something. Now it's on you. It's not me.
Right. So
yeah.
You worked with a lot of different people. I mean, not just bodybuilding. I think a lot of people think of you as just strictly bodybuilding, but you've worked with a lot of people that just want to be in better shape, people that want to feel better, guys like Magic Johnson, and the list goes on and on of celebrity people that you've worked with.
You know what? Right now, I have a 83-year-old grandmother that wants to train.
That's awesome.
Now, she could only afford to pay me my fee for just one session a week. So that's okay. You want to do it? Okay.
Yeah.
So she's in there training hard. She's having fun. And I'm thinking to myself, you know, I do so much for other people. You need more than one day. So what did I do? For that same amount, I gave her 2 days.
Oh, there you go.
And now she's just loving it. You know, it's just, you see something in a person and you want to go out and help them.
Yeah.
You don't want to just keep taking. Why not give something back?
Right.
She needed 2 days. She could only afford 1 day. I gave her 2.
Oh, that's really.
What's the difference?
I
don't care.
Yeah. What's the biggest difference when you're training some of these people? You know, when you were, I know a while back you were working with some NFL guys. I don't know if you still do a lot of that. What's the biggest difference between working with kind of a regular athlete and somebody who's mainly after aesthetics?
There's no difference. You know, I'm going to push them hard, no matter what. I'm not trying to break them. I'm trying to improve them. So whatever it needs to improve them, that's what we're going to do. Right. And I tell them when they first come in, I said, look, if you're not willing to work, then it's not going to work between us. So maybe you might want to find someone else who's in here just because of who you are. That doesn't bother me.
Right.
I want you to be better.
So the same thing you said earlier about finding the weak point.
So I look and see what they're
find the weak point regardless of whether they're bodybuilding, powerlifting, or
had a golfer,
or otherwise.
His name was Michael Sniper. He was not up there, but he was a golfer in the middle of it. And I read up on golfing and the swing and movement and all that, right? And that's what we worked on. so we can get the timing down and the swing down, where he needs to be strong at, where his core should be stronger.
Right.
We worked on that. His game improved. Why? Because I worked on the weaknesses what he had.
And then you still had him do some of the basic
And
movements in
we
here,
did basic
bent over
movements.
rows,
Yeah, all the
shoulder
basic
presses,
stuff.
all
But
of
we mainly worked on that core strength. And that's what you need. You need to come in between your
What are some of your favorites? What are some of your go-tos that you've just used for a long time?
Basic movements.
Yeah.
They always work. You don't have to change anything. There's no instant magic. It's just basic movement works for everybody.
Just bent over rows, presses, different things.
It
depending
just
on-
depends on the individual. You make sure there's no weaknesses in the lower back because you got to strengthen all that first before you get to that. There's a lot of bent over stuff, so you don't want to hurt that back. And you got to see how their posture is and stuff like this. So you may want to improve some of those things before going to some good basic movements. Yes.
Are there some things that maybe young bodybuilders and young people are missing about aesthetics and about bodybuilding specifically that has been around for a long time that maybe have kind of gotten pushed off to the side?
The thing of it is, everything changes. There's ways of doing rows without putting a lot of pressure or a lot of
And you have very
exerting a lot of
specific
strength.
ways of doing
So
things.
I do things a little bit different. I'll create something just so that it can help. Or I'll go back and look in books and find things that they used back in the day so that they could use it now.
Yeah.
And those things work. So that's what we do.
When it comes to diet, how different are we really? You hear people say, oh, everybody's different, everybody's different.
Well, what works for you is not going to work for me. It depends on your metabolism, how your body assimilates the food that you're putting in. Right? That's me. You see, I've never had a weight problem. So the minute I quit eating as many meals, I go down in weight. Real quick.
Yeah.
I mean quick. So I have to be careful. I have to make sure I eat the proper amount of meals in order to keep my weight up. Otherwise,
Right.
I'm going to lose.
How can some of these young people that are listening right now gain some size? With some
Proper
simple
nutrition.
things.
Proper nutrition. You know, slow gains mean you're going to hold on to it. Fast gains, you're going to get there and you're going to lose almost all of it. So, who wants it fast? You want something that's going to stay with you. So you always want to try to make sure you're eating properly, you're doing good cardio, and you're doing that good resistance training. You see this piece of equipment, what's
Yeah.
the first thing you see?
It's
Press.
it's for the lower
Back
body.
press, right? Lower body. What?
Greatest back machine ever devised.
Now, step in, please.
Yep.
All right. Now I want you to just grab it here.
Okay.
Right? Now, step back 2 steps. Now, bend over at the waist.
Yep.
Let it stretch, stick the chest out. Now pull to your stomach.